Well, guys, it's Saturday. It's the 27th of February. And I think with that music, we can officially start this morning with, there we go. Another episode of Mission Start Podcast. Hello, everybody. Oh, I need to change some stuff. Hello. So I forgot to do one other thing. Excuse me while I fix something real quick. In the meantime, thank you guys for coming by. Always a pleasure. This morning we got lots of topics to talk about. Actually, I might just do it on real time. So yeah, I'll just do it real time. Okay, that's fine. So we got lots of topics to talk about this morning. Again, if you enjoyed this podcast either on Twitch or on YouTube, definitely check it out on youtube.com/Mission Start Podcast 1, or check out the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. We also have a Patreon page as well. Or you can follow us on Twitch on this Twitch channel. So, with that being said, we got multiple variety of topics, and let's get started on them right now. Alright, so, where should we begin? Okay, let's begin here. So, and I actually forgot to add that scene real quick, so let me add a new scene. Boop. Add pictures, image. So I'm about to talk about. Oh, did it not save? Weird. Okay, hang on, guys. Hang on 1 second. Oh, it's in downloads. That's why. Okay. So I'm about to talk about it's like Sony has put in a patent for a controller, but not the one you're kind of thinking of. Let me see if I can find the folder real quick. Pictures, save. Alright, that's one, and here's the other one. Okay, boom. Gotcha. Alright, here we go. So, pictures. Oh, oops, we'll put that in first. Alright. So what you can see here, this is the picture that was found on NeoGAF. And this is a rumor. Well, not rumor actually. Sony did put in a patent for this. Add another one. And basically what I'm showing you guys is that these two images represent a they represent a lose track of mine. Basically a glove-esque controller. Now the jokes already kind of went already out there saying, hey, this is pretty much the Power Glove, which, it could be. But this is kind of the thing I'm looking for. And this is for the Morpheus, or the next VR thing that that Sony is working on. So now here's the thing. Hang on. VR glove controls. There we go. So here's the thing. I'm not surprised that Sony has a patent for this. There is a weird direction in terms of where exactly. There's a weird direction of where exactly the VR is going to head towards. People say, and I talked about this on the show with Greg, is that I think it's gonna be a fad. I don't think it's gonna be just as popular as people think it's gonna be. We saw 3D TVs, go out there for a while, and it didn't work. It didn't quite work to what people expected or hoping for. So this could be another flash in the pan. But I've been hearing like hearsay and talk in the game industry saying that hey, these guys are out there, and they're saying like this is going to be the next big thing. Now whether it's going to be true or not is going to depend on the market. So my thoughts on it is just like it's going to depend on what the people react to it, because the thing about this is like it's the pricing. Now Sony said that their VR Morpheus set is going to be as expensive as the console, which is around like $300-400. Oculus said it's going to be $500-600. And then speaking of, and also announced this past week, the Vive was announced to have, actually I got the article here, $7.99 shipped in early April, and it can also use for a phone. The thing with this Vive though that is different from the other two is that the Vive's going to come with its headset, but it would also come with the ability to use it on their HTC phone, so you could technically have it on the go as well, including 2 controllers as well as the entire setup. What the Oculus offers is just the headset and the Xbox One controller, and as far as Morpheus, it's probably going to be the headset, and then whatever PS4 controller you have. Now, here's the thing: the pricing, like in pricing right now, like Sony, if they said it's correct, if this is like around $34, then the pricing wars, they got it, like they got that pretty well done, if that's the case. Oculus is going to be a bit expensive, and they've been hinting at that for the past couple months, or I guess like more until it's close to its release. Since the $300 since the Kickstarter, which is a bargain now, thinking about it. And what was I going to say? The Vive, announcing their price at $800, which is a lot of money. And there's one other thing to think about too, and on top of this, is the fact that the VR thing is an idea that people are just getting to know or just figuring it out. But the issue is, to run the VR, you must have a really good PC. Now, I could safely say and sit back and say, well, my PC is pretty, well good. I got an i7, I got 24 gigs of RAM, I got a pretty decent graphics card. If I wanted to get a better one, I can, and then run, virtual reality. But for most cases, like for people who are out there in the, I won't say in the mainstream, but like your average Joe gamer, those guys, they may not have like the most expensive PC to run some of these VR things. Like, this is going to be a niche thing, more niche than what is in the game industry for certain genres, but it's going to be for people who want to experience VR. Must have a good PC if you get the Oculus or the Vive. The PlayStation 4 VR, I'm curious to see how that goes. That probably will sell better on the console because it's going off the PS4, but I'm not quite sure exactly how that would be. I mean, because like, is the quality going to be downsized? Is it going to be the same as the PS4? Like, the other thing to think about too is like, is the headset, because there's some questions that that none of us kind of thought of like before, because usually we have a controller on hand in the game and play on screen. But with these headsets, we also can consider like, will the Vive fit comfortably on our heads versus the the other two? Like is there other aspects of this that we have to consider, which we do in the future? But the big question is, how will the market react to all this? It's the biggest question that I think everybody has, and until they're planning to come out this year, so by the end of this year, we will find out exactly what exactly is going to be the market for this. And if it's a huge hit and it becomes the next biggest thing, then by all means, I call me stupid and wrong, but wait and see. I'm curious, to say the least. All right, so from there, let's go for some Twitter beef. Now, funny enough, this Twitter beef is between 2 major companies, Naughty Dog and Ubisoft. Apparently, in the new Uncharted 4 trailer that was released this past week, one of the Assassin's Creed artists said that like one of the images or part of like a cinema or part of the Assassin's Creed was in the Assassin's 4 Uncharted 4 trailer. And there was some Twitter beef between this guy and Naughty Dog, and it was interesting to say the least. But recently, Naughty Dog updates Uncharted 4 trailer and issues an apology to Ubisoft. So, and here's a quote. Uncharted 4 trailer included a picture that was a concept art for AC4. Esmer Amar, who works on Assassin's Creed, pointed out on Twitter, Naughty Dog just took down the original trailer and put out the version without the image. and put this and put any other link actually on the website, which is basically just it's just a statement saying like, you know, we screwed up. So here is the Twitter. So it says, in our eagerness to get the story trailer out, we made a regrettable mistake and didn't thoroughly vet the artwork used for an in-game painting. Hang on, that's right. Okay. We've already updated the trailer. We hold artistically high regard and take full responsibility for having allowed this to happen. We have to sincerely apologize to everyone at Ubisoft and the Assassin's Creed team, the original artists, and our fans. Neo Dragon also on Twitter. No two ways about it. We fucked up. So, man, Naughty Dog, holy shit. I told you I was going in that direction, but it actually turned out to be true. That is interesting. I kind of wonder what happened in, like, what exactly happened in the aspects of what happened in the aspects of just getting artwork for the trailer. I kind of wonder what exactly happened. There we go. I kind of wonder what exactly happened when it came for the trailer. Uncharted 4, you know, a very high-profile game, to kind of borrow an art asset from Assassin's Creed is kind of, I didn't expect that to happen. Hang on, there we go. I didn't expect that to happen. It must be a mistake. You know, they said, hey, we apologize, we fucked up. So pretty much put out there and saying, all right. I mean, and that's interesting. At least they own up to it. Yeah, you never should. I mean, even as an artist, you never should steal other people's artwork unless permission, or at least credited. So, yeah, I mean, it's whatever, I guess. I don't know. It's an interesting story, but you know, and you can imagine in the past couple of days when that was announced, or when that was kind of hearsay, like there was some beef between, like, you know, Assassin's Creed fans and Uncharted fans. It's like, you know, about this until they, you know, basically came out and said, yeah, we fucked up. So that was interesting. All right, so going from Twitter beef to something that's actually interesting. Or not interesting, but very positive. So Rocket League. Again, Rocket League is one of those most popular games that come out that surprised everybody. It was on the PSN Plus for free for a long time. It came to PC recently. Rocket League, as of late, let me get the Rocket League, as of late, and this is posted on NeoGAF, but it's only because the information is coming out of straight out of I believe it's called Steam Spy, which tracks the amount of Steam users that bought the game or playing the game. So Rocket League sold almost 4 million units, not counting PS Plus. With PS Plus, it's over 10 million. Now the 10 million thing, if the Steam Spy does PS4, that'd be great. I'm not quite sure if it does. I might just do only Steam. But with that being said, yeah, that's crazy. That is. I'm not quite surprised. Also, you're seeing the DLC for Rocket League for Batman v Superman, which you're getting, you know, which is actually pretty sick. But yeah, like, it's not surprising. Like, it's ridiculously good game, and this game has gone hugely popular, to the point to where it developed an own esports team. There's an audience for it. It's cool. The developers of Rocket League, I don't think they expect this to blow up the way it did. I think that the direction of the game is, you know, because the funny thing is, like, they did use a similar game. I think with the help of have it free. Oh, well. It really helped it, like, its notability. It helped, like, just get more eyes on it, and yeah, no, it was out there. It definitely was very, very popular, and it continued to do so. Seeing the fact that seeing the fact that it sold 4 million units and then 10 million in PS Plus is ridiculous. And they will keep building on this and top, which means, as you saw in the trailer, like more car models, you know. So yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, but it's also really cool to see. Games like these don't really get this time of day, and again, like it's very lucky. Like these games will get the time of day in terms of like getting their time to shine, especially just from an indie developer. So kudos to those guys. Also, that Batmobile, it's pretty sick. That Batmobile is pretty sick. Cannot lie. Alright, so let's keep it on the, I guess, esports scene, and let's talk a little bit about Counter-Strike. Alright. So, Counter-Strike. Let me see, where's the B-roll footage for it? Boom. Alright. So, Counter-Strike. Now, it is a game that is hugely popular. You know, it's one of the most played games on Steam, and it's also, you know, most used in the esports scene. We have a running theme with the esports scene, if you've noticed. But yeah, like it is definitely a very popular game. Not to mention, like, you know, it was the game of my yesteryear when I was growing up playing it. But the reason I bring it up is because Valve. Well, this is more. Yeah, I guess Valve can announce that, saying that, you know, they are putting $1 million into the next tournament or tournaments for Counter-Strike Go. I have a blog post here. So, quote: When we announced the first CS:GO major championship in 2013, we hoped that the majors will be rallying points for the community, tentpoles events that could draw new audience and amplify the value of all events. Since then, the professional CS:GO community has been growing at an incredible rate. CS:GO tournaments are now among the largest esports events in the world, drawing global audience of millions of viewers, filling massive venues, and garnering higher pool of professional CS:GO has grown. And CS:GO major championships are about to grow with it. We are pleased to announce that beginning of MLG Columbus 2016, each CS:GO major championship prize pool will be $1 million. We look forward to another great year of CS:GO competition. That's pretty cool. You know, that's pretty cool. Like $1 million for each CS:GO major. It's freaking awesome. I mean, I can say that that's probably a lot more than what other majors are used to. And Valve's upfronting the money. That's really cool. Now, would I say that CS:GO is more popular than, say, Dota 2? You know, is it more popular than Street Fighter 5? Is it more popular than, you know, League of Legends? I would say yes and no. I'd say it's more popular. Well, I don't know. Like, I still consider, like, Counter-Strike Go, like, in the, like, kind of later, lower half of the echelon of streamable events when it comes to esports. The problem with this is, like, the fact that it's hard to, like, watch these events because it's always in first-person view. I mean, they have a third-person view aspect when it comes to these competitions, but it's always a hard balance between switching from third-person into first-person view because everything's so such frantic movements. Now, with that being said, like, that's still a pretty well good endorsement from Valve, and Valve's been pretty good when it comes to giving, you know, money to their games for the esports scene, like Dota 2 especially. Dota 2, like, you'll add some money to the pot, a good number amount, and then, like, the rest of the community will raise money for that event, which is crazy and awesome at the same time. Yeah, like, it's cool. Counter-Strike Go is still considered one of the most played games on Steam, if not the best on Steam. Seeing it kind of evolve has been very interesting, and, like, we'll see how it goes with the esports scene when it comes to Counter-Strike Go or any first-person shooter. I know Halo 5 is a big one too. Halo 5 Championship recently, I think, ended recently, or had their events, and they've been it was a huge success. So yeah, who knows? We'll see. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll see how exactly how things turn out for the scene, as well as, like, how the money will be dealt in. So yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. So going from the esports scene, going to Resident Evil. Okay, so Let me preference this. Resident Evil 4, 5, 6 announcement. Alright, so Resident Evil, I mean, like, okay, so Resident Evil has been in and out of the game industry with remakes, or new ones as of late, actually. But more importantly, just remakes. Capcom putting out there. It seems like the scene. It seems like it's gonna. Yeah, can I talk this morning? Seems to be the same thing again this morning, or next morning, but this year with more remakes from Capcom. Because they just put out Street Fighter 5 and they took a lot of money out of that. So Capcom is re-releasing Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, but it's going to be, I don't know what exactly they're going to do to it. Maybe like fix some things and put it in more of an HD quality. I don't know. I feel like, you know, at this point, like, there isn't much to do with these games. Maybe 4, probably the one more justifiable, but 4, 5, and 6. Now people argue, say 6 was bad. Like 6 was like the worst of the Resident Evil games. 5 was okay. I enjoy 5. 4 was the best, obviously, out of those 3. But the way they're doing it though with Capcom is like they're releasing these re-releases, 6, 5, 4, and the way they're gonna do it too is that Resident Evil 6 is coming out in March 29th. Resident Evil 5 in the summer of 2016. And Resident Evil 4, the best one out of these 3, won't be coming out until fall of 2016. So they're kind of going backwards from worst to best. So, yeah, I mean, do they really need... Okay, I know Capcom is strapped for cash. They need the money. But my thing is, like, what... Are we at a point where do we need a re-release of, like, 4, 5, and 6? Like, 4, I agree. That's fine. Because it's been a long time since the re-release of that. 5 has been... I feel like 5 and 6 less so, because 5 has been on every other version when it came out. The PC version, the PS4 version, you know, like the Gold Edition. Like, it was basically kind of what it was with Street Fighter for a while. You know, Super Edition, Arcade Edition, and so on and so on. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess you could argue for 5. I'm not quite sure if it was quite needed. 6, I think, is the most questionable one. I get it, the fact that it does exist and Capcom didn't make it, but does it need a re-release? No. I'd say just 5 and 4 would be great. I get that they want to honor 6 because people did enjoy it, but at the same time, from, you know, my experience and other people's experience I talked to, like, they didn't enjoy the game at all. Like, the game was booty, like booty butt cheeks. But seriously, like, it's I think it speaks more to the fact that, again, and this is something that's been a growing theme when it comes to these consoles, is the fact that these consoles don't have much first-party content. A lot of the content is multi-platform. With the exception of Xbox One has more content for the console than the PS4 does. I get it that, you know, you want to re-release games that, you know, say like a new generation of people who are playing on PS4 and Xbox One who had never played these games before that now can, but at the same time, how many re-releases have we had versus how many games do we actually have that are console exclusive? You know, we got Bloodborne, we got the Order 1886 on the PS4, we got Street Fighter 5. You know, Xbox One has Killer Instinct. It has the Halo 5. It has other games as well. The thing is, though, is like there is less an incentive to, and this is something I argued back then. I have a PS4, but like there's something that I think speaks true today still. It's like there's still a less an incentive to have a console and just have the older consoles and or a PC, because these games are multi-platform, and that these games are coming out just like on a timely exclusives on these consoles to only be multi-platform. Like, for example, the new Tomb Raider game was a time exclusive with Microsoft with the Xbox One, and then was, after it was exclusivity was gone, was on the PC and on PS4, I believe. So exclusives are becoming less and less of a thing. And these consoles are becoming more just game consoles. They're becoming, more like a media center. Like, when you watch movies, you want to go on a website. You want to check something out, like on YouTube. Like, it's becoming more of that. So I'm not quite sure what the game industry is headed with these games. Maybe the fact that these console exclusives are going away, and that maybe that it's just the time. It's the times are changing, but if that's the case, then consoles themselves, like, will they still sell in the future if everything's gonna be multi-platform? Like, if it's gonna, with the exception of Nintendo, like if every game came out on every console, PC, PS4, Xbox One, like, then what is the real incentive to have a console? Other than the fact to say, like, if you don't have a beefy enough PC to run these games, they say that you're average middle America, or average Joe, and you can only afford a console and you can't afford a beefy PC, then yeah, okay, I understand for sure. Like, PS4 or Xbox One, the old conversation of, like, if you had only one choice, which console would you get? And I expect that, or I get that. So it's, I don't know. Maybe console exclusive will still be a thing, maybe not. Who knows? I just think as a marketing ploy to get people to buy the console because of this game, it's becoming less and less, because it's going to end up on another console or on the PC. But I digress. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. So, all right. So going from Resident Evil to one gore game to another gore game, and that is going to become. Oops. So, Ed Boon. Now, Ed Boon, recently, well, I didn't he recently say that. It was recently discovered, I say in the past week, that there is a secret menu in the arcade versions of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, and presumably in the Mortal Kombat 4 as well. Basically, it is the Ed Boon menu. You put in a sequence of buttons on both sticks and letters. I mean, not letters, but buttons and sticks on the arcade cabinet, and it will prompt you a menu that no one else have seen. This has been, like, hidden for the past 16 to 20 years. No one knew about it except for Ed Boon himself. But apparently somebody found out, and as you see in the video, demonstrated what you could do. And when that menu pops up, you're prompted with a menu along with, like, other things that would you'll be able to check out. So, like, you could check out the volume adjustment, you can check out the switch test, you can check out the character endings, the other stuff as well, which is really cool. I like the fact that this kind of is being discovered, and that it's that freaking, like, it's being discovered only at this time that was hidden very long ago. I like that. I like that idea. Secret stuff like this has, it's a thing in the past when it comes to gaming nowadays. But it's really cool to see, like, some of these classic games still have it. I think Ed Boon putting this in is actually pretty cool. I don't think he intended to be discovered. I think it was just more of a tech thing. But it's still really cool to see the fact that, it's out there and it's finally being discovered. It's almost in the mythos of, like, like the Atari cartridges being buried in the sand, like, somewhere in Nevada during the crash. So, like, yeah, it is really cool. It's really cool. There's no buzz about it. I enjoyed some stuff like this. So yeah, that was cool. So, and kind of gives a question, if future MK titles will have something like this, either arcade or on console. So one of the big things that was announced yesterday, actually, and I'll put this in. So, as you see in the trailer, 20 years of Pokemon. Now, I have played Pokemon not for a very long time. I played my share of Pokemon. I played Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy Pocket. I played the crap out of it. I didn't beat it, but I played the crap out of it, like many other people. And since then, Pokemon has moved on to many other iterations of the game. Now with this announcement trailer, basically Pokemon has a new game coming out called Pokemon Moon and Sun. Now it's going. The interesting thing about this, because recently they also announced that Pokemon Blue, Red, and Yellow are going to be, was released this past week, and any Pokemon that you caught in those games, you can actually carry over to Pokemon Moon and Sun, which is it's interesting. That's pretty cool. But on the 3DS, by the way, not on the Game Boy, as you see on the trailer. That'd be kind of pretty ridiculous. But no, yeah. So like that is pretty cool. I think it's interesting. The Pokemon has always been a game that's always come. It's like Mario. Like it comes out every so often, and like when it comes out, like people are excited, and in childhood and nostalgia galore. So people are going to buy this game, obviously. X and Y did pretty well. Red and not Red, but Pokemon Moon and Sun is going to be probably another big one as well. But yeah, people are pretty excited for the game, no doubt. The new Pokemon game equals more massive sales. Like Pokemon is still a huge name in Japan and as well here in the States. So and ACC is coming the holiday of this year, 2016. So yeah, it was a huge announcement that came out yesterday that I kind of noted, and people were pretty excited for it. So I have nothing else to say. The fact that the game is going to be, I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. Like I have never seen a Pokemon game that has been reviewed badly. I've never seen one that's like people saying like, oh, this game is crap. Unless there's some Pokemon game out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was bad, but for the most part, the main Pokemon games, have been pretty damn good. So I'm expecting this next one to be really good, and that yeah, it's gonna be huge when it comes out, and people are gonna be using it probably, especially in like anime conventions, to swap Pokemon or Poke Battle. So yeah, Pokemon Moon and Sun. I'm very curious to see what they do with it though, because they never had a Pokemon game in space, so I'm kind of wondering what type of like I saw actually it's still on Earth, but like in terms of like what type of Pokemon they're gonna bring to the table, because they're starting to get to the point where like they run out of ideas when it comes to their Pokemon. But Pokemon Moon and Sun gives me very interesting ideas, like if they're like space Pokemon. So yeah, that'd be cool. But we'll see how it goes. This is the last story of the day. I think it might be okay. Yeah. So last story of the day. Okay. So, as the title says on this episode of Missions Not Podcast, recently Fire Emblem Fates came out, and it is a huge hit right now. It is excelling excessively well. I am planning to get the version where it has I'm planning to get the version that has both games. It's called Revelation, where it has both games and DLC. Because right now the way it stands, like there's Fire Emblems, Fates, but it's two versions, like two stories. So one story is $40 and the other is $40. And which is $80. But like I'm waiting for the full version to come out so I can play both games and DLC. So here's the thing that you see on the screen. So you see on one side you see USA and you see Japan. You see that on one side USA the game ends like at a certain point, and in Japan version, which has been fan translated, there's more dialogue. But not only that, there are things in the Japan version that it has that the US version doesn't have, and there's a big hoopla about it. This also goes alongside like what happened with Street Fighter V, like with Mika's butt animation being taken out, which I think is dumb. Kotaku wrote an article talking a lot about the Fire Emblem thing, and what's happening, and here's the thing I've been noticing too, is that these games that are coming out from Japan are being changed for the U.S. audience. Is this a new thing? No. This was done before, back in the early days of the 1980s, 1990s, with Nintendo, They had games that came out in Japan that were translated, either differently here in the U.S. or gameplay changed for whatever reason it may be. It may be the fact that they did not, at the time, like, it was too violent for kids. Like, they had to change the blood from, red to gray, or, things like that. So, this isn't anything new per se when it comes to these type of things, but at the same time, what I'm seeing is that fans or gamers are taking control of what they want to see. Now, given the fact that because this game is selling excessively well, like, Nintendo's turning a blind eye to it, not really paying this any attention. But I think what's worthy noted is that when people are going out of their way to make sure that they're restoring what the game originally was before it was translated, or it was taken out, taking some things out that was in Japan version but wasn't in the American version. And Treehouse came out and said, like, hey, we're trying to make these games more suitable for the U.S. market. We're doing the best we can. We're working with developers. That's all going fine, but there's definitely going to be, a raised eyebrow as far as, like, why exactly this part was taken out in the U.S. version while in Japan it was kept. Why exactly was, petting something they took out that was still in Japan. I mean, many argue for the petting thing. It's like, because we want to respect women, and, we don't do that. And, well, it didn't add, it didn't quite add anything to the game, and was it really needed? Was it really that sexualized? Because I saw the video, and it's like, you use your stylist to pet, the girl in the game, on the head, and that's it. I don't see anything sexual about it. Like, I guess, I don't know. Like, that part, I think, confuses me, was why they taken that out. But yeah, like, there's things like these that people are going out of the way to restore them to their original version so they can play them here. Or in some cases, hack their 3DSs to do so. And, like, I kind of wonder, like, we're back in those times where, these games are coming out in America that are being changed because of the different morals and different ideals right now in the U.S. versus what in Japan. Because right now, they classic cultures. Like, Japan, like, it's not, there's still some things in Japan you're still trying to figure out, when it comes to women and feminism over there. But at the same time, like, it is still very much owned as a man thing in Japan. Like, men are still pretty more dominant thing in Japan. So you get more of the games are like show more cleavage of women and all that stuff over there. So games like these will come out in Japan and they'll have those things in it. Well, in the U.S., they want that changed. They want to see games when they come over here to be changed and properly fit the family mantra. Like, we don't want games to have these things in our games, like, because these games are quote unquote for kids still mentality. And the interesting thing about all of this is the fact that, like, look, the USA, the good old USA is fine. Is fine with violence, with games that you can chainsaw people in half. But when it comes to sexualized games, they want to censor, or they want to, not censor, but, like, they want to change it to the point where, to keep the mindset of, like, oh, it's too sexualized, we got to think of the kids and, have family, because families are playing this game. That's the mentality at the moment right now, and these classic cultures are making it really hard for gamers to say, like, I want my games to be as it is. I don't want it to be changed, and I don't want it to have it, altered because of the fact that I don't want some company to tell me, like, this is the best thing for me, Like, I don't want a company to say, like, okay, we're gonna give you the game, but it's gonna be in this version. Why? Because we feel like this is the best version for the U.S. and it, to its morals, but I don't care about what the U.S. wants. What about me? What do I want? And I want the unedited version. So I'm seeing more and more, and it's happened with the Armika thing too. Like, people have on PC have modded that back to its original form, as well as the Cammy intro as well. So like it's fans are they definitely taking control of their games, and it's because of the internet today and the power they hold. They'll put in themselves into changing these things for those people. Now, is this going to affect them in the long run in terms of like Nintendo and them? Not really. So as long as the game sells very well, like they don't care what the fans do. But it is something rather interesting, the fact that they're going out of their way to just kind of not prove a point, but yeah, actually, yeah, not prove a point, actually, thinking about it. But, you know, honestly, I think of all of this, I think that the game is still pretty good. I'm waiting for the two versions, again, the Revelation that has both games and then DLC. I do intend to, if I feel like it, I do intend to change it to, put in the patch so that I can, play the game as it was, like it was in Japan. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like it's been an ongoing thing for the past year. Is this an indication that is this going to take people of the fans to change it just when the game comes out to put it in the original state? Probably. Will game companies change the way they are in the future? No. I think that those still, because they still think that America is about, especially now about women and trying the way it is, like it's definitely like it's affecting the way that game is being developed in Japan, and I also say in the States too as well. Which kind of saddens me to the fact that because of a certain ideology is changing what gaming, when a game comes out, like what exactly it's supposed to aim for. Because like, if it's a game is supposed to come out for an audience, but then like was changed because of a certain ideology, then it sucks. I think that game companies should really take hold of their should take hold of their games and like say like we're gonna develop this game the way we like it, and anybody else who thinks otherwise, well, too bad. As an artist, I can understand. I'm gonna draw something, and if it may offend people, then that's too bad. My art is artistic. Art is very subjective. So with that being said, I mean, game is good. There's going to be people out there crying out that, we want the original version, which they are hacking their DSs and getting software and putting in a patch to do so, while others don't care. And they want to play the game because of the new Fates game, people are pretty hype about it, and which is really good. So, I plan to get it myself. But anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Again, I am solo for today. Greg is still in the east side of the world, aka North Carolina. The other ramen is out at a Pokemon tournament for Pokken. So yeah, I'm kind of by myself. But, I don't mind. Whether it be nobody watching or one or two watching, or, people watching on YouTube later on. But anyways, that's going to do it for our show. So, oops, hang on. Alright. So with that being said, you can follow me personally on Twitter at DefectiveNaruto. You can follow the work that I do at MissionStarPodcast.com. So if you enjoy this podcast, either on the YouTube channel or on our website, check it out on iTunes and Stitcher. Look it up on Stitcher and iTunes for Mission Start Podcast. This upload is usually on Mondays, but if you're on our Patreon page, we'll upload this like the day of or soon enough. I've been slacking updating the Patreon pages of late, but definitely check it out, guys. Patreon.com/Mission Start Podcast to get early access to all of these podcasts for only $3. Our other podcast that we also do on our website is The Conover, which talks about convention talk. Our experiences at previous convention we just went to. What our thoughts about said convention. How was the registration, like everything, analyzing the convention as a whole. Check out The Conover. This past week we put up the AOD Conover episode. We talked about AOD and its move from where it was prior to Santa Clara, which can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher as well as in the podcast section of the website. And if you enjoy comic books, if you enjoy movies, entertainment, HBO, all that sort of stuff, and a bit of games, a bit of anime, check out the Rolling 20s, hosted by Jeremy Wilson on our website, which can be found in the podcast section as well as on iTunes and Stitcher. The weekly podcast talk about everything nerdy when it comes to comic books on our website, as well as other places as well. So the only thing I will note is that I have been slacking when it came to uploading these videos, the Carnover and the Rolling 20s episodes on YouTube. That's soon will be fixed. I just been busy with school, so I mean that takes priority anyways. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the show. So again, hit that follow button if you haven't already. If you're watching it on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We are live at 11 a.m. every Saturday morning, for the most part, unless something comes up, on this Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Mission Start Podcast. And then also a reminder, on Mondays we have our Skullgirls tournament. It's called Monday Night Blockbuster. We're going on episode 7, season 2. It starts at a new time at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Mondays, and uploaded on the footage of the following week. So with that being said, this is Anthony Bianis signing off, and we will see you guys next time.